most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
Like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the mighty Who That Nation, man. We up in this thing, Sports Coma late night stream. I'm not gonna hold you that long, fam. I've been streaming all damn day, different platforms. But big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the Coma, man. It's a reaction stream to a few things, and like I was thinking about doing this early this morning. Actually, not late. Next morning, actually Sunday morning, doing the reaction. But I decided to do it tonight so that I can have a better night of sleep. I had to wake up early in the morning. But anyway, few news, notes, and items to talk about dealing with the Saints tonight. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate you. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing doing our thing. Now, the Saints announced some roster moves, fam. To be honest with you, that they did today. Hold on, what's going on? I can get my camera stuff together. Yeah, there we go. All right. So anyway, Saints announced roster moves. What did they do? Safety Ugo Amadi and linebacker Isaiah Stalbird was elevated to the active roster. Right. Saints elevated safety Ugo Amadi and Isaiah Stalbird to the active roster from the practice squad under the term standard elevations. And we'll know who's active and inactive tomorrow morning for the matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. It has been a very busy and popping week when it came down in terms of the matchup. Earlier today, shout out to Cowboys Fan Talk, Brother Rome. He stopped by, hope y'all enjoyed that stream. That was pretty cool to hear from the other side of the fence from the Dallas Cowboys family members. And it's a lot of people are looking at it saying, hey, man, this is going to be a good matchup. Even a lot of the Cowboy people are saying, listen, with all due respect, this, that, and the third, and they laid it on the line. We laid it on the line. It's going to be a respectful, a good meeting tomorrow, a good measuring stick. I think a lot of the Cowboy people are leaving the meeting understanding that, hey, man, we thought the Saints were this, that, and the third. And listen, don't do that. Don't underestimate the team. And I'll tell them that because I don't want the excuse of people saying that the reason why the Cowboys lost because we were overlooking the Saints for the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to use that excuse when they lose the game, right? So, like I said, my thing is I just want to get the dub because we need the dubs. We've been deprived over the last couple of years. Having that dub means we have that that one caveat, in and with they make it in and when and if they make it to the playoffs, will have that one thing over their heads during that process, and that always helps. So big ups to the family members on that. So we'll know more about this tomorrow. Like I said, we'll do the whole damn thing, the preview, the during the game, halftime, into the post game, all the interviews, the recap. We'll have Pops Q chime in tomorrow afternoon as well on the recap stream for the Saints matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to my LSU Tigers. They won today. They were trailing early. It was an early 11 o'clock game, but we ultimately got that done. So shout out to the family members that was with me over at Tough Tiger Talk. And I'm also was monitoring some really good fights that's actually going on right now. Canelo is fighting tonight as well. Caleb Plant won tonight with a late knockout. We're seeing Stephen Fulton, he got his win. And there was a couple of really good boxing matches that was going on while I was monitoring. We just got off the Pelican post-game report, so shout out to DC and Lex. And for the family members that was over there. So it's been on and popping all damn day. It'd be like that sometimes, fam, when they got a lot of stuff going on. JT says, Q, what are the Saints going to do with these people holding positions and not playing? Number 1 pick, number 2 picks. He says, what are the Saints going to do with all the people holding positions and not playing? Number 1, he says, number 1 pick, number 2 picks. Okay, kind of let me know what you mean by that, brother. I'm a little confused by that. But big ups to the rest of you guys. Appreciate you being here. I see everybody. Night Ward, Young City Night Ward, JT, Chemo. What's up, Chemo? How you doing, bro? Anthony, how you doing, bro? KB, shout out to you, Queen. Good to see you. What's up, Ivan? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you out there in Dallas. I appreciate you, my brother. Be safe out there. All right. Who that daddy? Big ups to you, my brother. Appreciate you. OG Jerry's in this thing. Yen, what's up, Yen? Good to see you in the chat, man. Big ups to you as well. Rose City in this thing. Julius, big ups to you, fam. Good to see you as well. Pelicans, Nola, much love as well. Appreciate you. Charlie Dog is in this thing as well. Big ups to everybody, man. Much love, fam. All right. What's up, Bronze? Shout out to Bronze in this thing. Brian Lane, big ups. What's up, Antoinette? Big ups to the Queen. Be great, Josh. Big ups to you, my brother, as well. Appreciate all y'all, man, for being in the stream. Now, listen, we'll see what goes on there with the Dallas. I did a whole week of just talking about the Dallas Cowboys and looking and just analyzing and going over their team. We know who the players are. We know who the secondary members of the team. We heard from inside Cowboy Nation today as well. That was a really cool stream. If you guys didn't get a chance to check that out with Cowboy Fan Talk, please feel free to check that stream out as well. It was pretty cool. All right. So anyway, let's move on, fam. I wanted to kind of get into this breakdown right here. And this is pretty much from Jon Gruden's channel. It's really blowing up as well. Shout out to Coach Gruden. Got beyond his legal stuff, man. And now he's kind of put himself in a position where he can kind of just focus on talking about football. And you can see that Coach Gruden loves that, man. He's a guy that loves football, and he's doing really well talking about it, breaking it down. He had Drew Brees on the show to talk about the Saints, and it was some good game. So I wanted to be able to kind of live react to that. What's up, Walk for Jesus? Shout out to you. Brother William, how you doing? Chantel, what's happening, Chantel? Good to see you. Queen says, who that? Please don't hate, but my cowgirls are winning tomorrow. I love my whole. Okay, thank you, Chantel. Appreciate you. KD, all right, what's happening, man? Akban's in this thing as well. Hope I got that right, man. Akban. I hope I got that. Akban. Yeah, Akban. There you go. All right. Hope I got that right, my man. Give me a thumbs up if I did good, man. There you go. JT, big up, says Peyton Turner, 4 defensive ends to come in. Oh, yeah, Foskey. Yeah. That's a whole nother thing, you know, with it just hasn't been good with the Saints, the draft picks, especially when they're picking these ends. Davenport was a bust. Peyton Turner's headed on the way out as well. Isaiah Foskey is dealing with a back issue, but like I said, I think Peyton Turner is already the writings on the wall as far as he's concerned. When they signed Chase Young, I knew that was the end of him being here. But Isaiah Foskey has more of a future here moving forward. So they're both dealing with some stuff, and you know, we'll see how it is, man. But it's so much. It's a very long season, and those guys are just being called upon just to be reserves that fill in to help keep everything fresh. And I think they fit the role where the Saints have them in. It's not too much pressure. They come in there and they do what they got to do. And I know by doing it like that, at least I would suspect that Isaiah Foskey and Peyton Turner would at least be able to see every game. it's less likely that they would get hurt in game action. Now they can get bumped up in practice, yes, but for what the Saints have in mind for them to be like a third and not even a third, a fourth or fifth dairy pass rushers to come in, that'll be cool. All right. Tasha says 9Q. Yeah, I did, Tasha. I got it right. Cut it out, Tasha. All right. All right, Black Major, shout out to you. Yeah. All right, Akban. Okay, Akban. Okay, yeah. See, it's messing me up because you got band and it's bond. Okay, band is not band, it's bond, right? See, it's Akban. There you go, Akban. See, that's what threw me off. I get the AK part, but band is bond. Okay, Akbond. Yeah, there you go, Akbond. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that. All right, I'm gonna try. I can always say Mr. Israel. I can say Israel. I know I got that one. All right, but sorry about that, Akban. That is it. Elite, shout out to you. Good to see you. What's up, Steve? How you doing, fam? Appreciate you as well. Much love. All right, thank you, family. All right, so here, let's hear from old Gruden. Yes, indeed, man. Let's hear from old Gruden, man, when he talks. And we're going to pick it up. Gruden breaking down a little film. Then Drew Brees is going to cruise right into it. Here we go. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear it. Here we go.
15 to 16 yards. He made it look like he was running through that safety, but he would flatten it off. You know what's really sick about Drew Brees and the Saints? What they did that I never did is when they got cover 2, they told that special seam runner, you run right down the onside safety. And if the other safety widens off that hash, I saw him pumping the ball to Jimmy Graham for crying out loud against cover 2. But all goes special. There's
all right. Pardon the commercial, fam. We got these commercials. Sometimes you got to just deal with them. Here we go. All right, Tasha. I see what you're saying. Tedra, shout out to you. Good
verticals, but the special seam runner has to know how to run this route against 3 deep zone, single high man-to-man, and any split safety looks. Quarterbacks don't fight zoning linebackers. If they get depth, throw the what? You ever heard of Darren Sproles, Pierre Thomas? You ever heard of those guys? Throw the burst. You never go broke making a profit, baby.
68.
Yeah, Gruden, man, is you can see he's
every time I see you, my Chucky face comes out. God, I never liked playing against you, man.
Hey, I always knew I had to bring my best when you were on the other side.
I could come on this show and talk about the 80,000 yards you threw for, 571 touchdown passes, 68%, 280 yards a game, world champion. You think I'm just going to come on here and kiss your ass the whole show? No. Some of my greatest memories in coaching is coming off the field with a win against you and Sean Payton. That's what I'm here to talk to you about, man.
All right, let's hear it.
You and I have been talking a little bit about what you're doing, what you're going to do, what you're capable of doing. I'm sure you got a lot of things going through your mind, but what a great thrill it is to spend time with your kids and encourage them and coach them, right?
It's the greatest thing in the world. And honestly, that's been my number one priority since leaving the game is just maxing out every opportunity with them. Anything that they want to do, anything that they want to pursue, I want to be right there next to them to support them every step of the way.
We received 5 clips from an unknown source of playing youth football. The first play is a choice route, and you threw choices to Lance Moore and Sproles and Reggie Bush. But tell me a little bit about that first play on that choice route.
Well, first off, I call it choice. It's just a nice, easy name for the kids to recognize and realize that I have a choice in the direction that I can break. But if we really go back to the history of this route, it's really like a Lucy route that you used to run with Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, and talk about like standing on the other side of the sideline feeling helpless as to what was about to happen. Basically, you put one of these Hall of Famers in the slot and you give them the option to break out, to break in, to hook it up. So how, as a defender, can you ever be right? You're basically just going to break away from leverage, right? And then you build in some sort of a complementary route that maybe even gives them a better release, right? So what we did with this choice route was we put in a stack alignment. So I put one of our stud receivers, Kyle Perkle, at the X. He sets the point, and then the A slot receiver, Cash Redmond, gets right behind him. We're detailed, Drew. 2 yards outside him, 2 yards off the ball, all right? At the snap of the ball, the X fires off the ball with speed, 10 yards. He hits his corner route. Okay, that A gets right behind the X, all right? Creates a little bit of a shield for the defender. Defender can't see him, has to choose whether he's going to jump inside or outside, right? Which defines the choice route for the A. In most cases, he's breaking out because on these Pop Warner hashes, you're on the far side. They're always going to apex themselves between the stack and the box, right? So long throw for the QB, but I tell him, man, hey, you just got to open up that hip, get that ankle eye going in that direction, man. Get that ground force production and get that ball to the sideline, get it in your playmaker's hands in space.
My God, I got to wipe the tears out of my eyes. That's like music to the ears. I mean, that's awesome. The fourth play is a Drew Brees signature play. I mean, all go special, halfback burst was the Drew Brees play. I mean, if I could put a picture on that and have you autograph it, am I right? Is all go special your favorite play? Didn't it build that up?
Favorite play of all time, Drew. In fact, I was going to ask you, I want to talk the history of all go special as you know it, because it's a play that I feel like not enough people run, not enough people have mastered. To me, it's all about the special seam runner, right? So any 3-by-1 formation, the guy who is responsible for the number 3 seam to read the safeties. Hey, if we got split safeties, we're taking the middle. The minute the middle of the field goes closed, you've got to cross face and get to that other hash about 18 to 22 yards. But there's just this awareness of where that ball could be thrown, right? Mm-hmm. I was lucky to throw to guys like Jimmy Graham and Benjamin Watson and all these guys who had incredible awareness as to where that ball was going to be thrown. It might be up front, it might be a high back shoulder. Man to man, we're cutting this thing off. It almost looks more like a dig route, but we got to go flat and separate, right? But I know the QB's looking at me. I'm number 1, right? So sure enough, I get my boy Jalen Galindo here at the Y position, all right, on this. Now, first off, we formatted him to death with this. Normally,
you did it out of a 2-back set, man. That was cool.
It was. Normally, we would have that strong side A, who's the number 2 seam, in the slot, but we put him in the backfield, and we had been running this strong side sweep. We call it Tiger, right? So, man, we hit him with Tiger a few times. We get these backers flowing. We get the safety out of position. Then we hit him with a little Tiger pass, Drew. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Great ball fake. Get the movement going. Here's Jalen Galindo coming across the field. He's your number 1 read. You should have put a little more on the line. Okay, don't get my guy blown up like that. You know what I'm saying? But comes down with the 22-yard completion, gets the wind knocked out of him, jumps up, and that's what it's all about, man.
I know you're around the New Orleans Saints still. And I'm, in spite of being an ex-Buccaneer, I'm kind of a Saints fan because my old quarterback's out there. And I do like Dennis Allen a lot. I love Mickey Loomis. What's your take on the Saints after week 1 and heading into Dallas? Maybe a quick summary on what you see in forecast there, Drew.
Yeah, I had a chance to be out there during the offseason and went up and saw them during training camp. But, man, they were explosive, right? I mean, they went off, and I thought Derek played great. Man, I've always loved that Shanahan offense, and obviously now he's getting all these disciples, right, in McDaniel in Miami and now Clint Kubiak in New Orleans. So basically everybody's going to kind of take that as the basis, and then they're going to kind of add their own little nuances to it to make it their own, just like Sean Payton took the Gruden offense and then kind of, made it his own a little bit, but, it came from the same source. I love what that offense brings, both in the run game. I think the mentality, the way that it shapes up the play action, the passing game as well. Look, I think there's a renewed enthusiasm there. And I think Derek's about to have some of his best years. He's got some explosive weapons around him. Got great leadership, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Guys like DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan, Tyrann Mathieu, and some others, good young talent. So look, and that division's wide open, right? So I think they've got. Look, we're going to see. They go to Dallas this weekend, so that'll be a heck of a matchup. I'll be glued to the TV for that one.
You went up.
All right, we'll get back to it too. Yeah, Drew drawing up plays. That's why I was like, man, we need to have Drew in some capacity involved with the Saints as an advisor or something, like just to have that intelligence and that good energy around the team. But like I said, I like what the Saints are doing with Clint Kubiak. Nola Ballin says, did you hear what Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons talking trash about the Saints? Somebody sent me something about them talking a little smack about it, which is good. It's good. It's a rival. It's a rivalry. We know about Atlanta. They talk smack. And the other rivalry is Dallas. And then it used to be San Fran. When we do play San Fran, they always pretty good games. But yeah, I expect a little smack talking between both teams, man. That's totally cool. All right, here we go.
Against Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, when he was with the Vikings and with the Bengals. I mean, this guy's he's a heck of a coach. They put those 2 linebackers right up in there in those A-gaps between the center and the guard, and they bluff them. They bring 4 over there, multiple coverages, and they got this guy, Micah Parsons. Nobody can block him. And the crowd noise works in their favor. They're loud, and it's hard to communicate. You got some young tackles out there in New Orleans. Maybe protection plan. What do you see about that matchup there, Drew?
I'll say this. We played against Zim a bunch, and there's never a week that I expended more mental energy in getting prepared for a defense than going up against a Mike Zimmer defense. Because just like you said, the minute they walk up those 2 linebackers in the A-gaps, even if they're just bluffing them, right, it gets you thinking so much about, man, where can I get the ball out? And what coverage are they potentially rolling to when they do bring some sort of a combination, whether it's both of these guys or they overload the right, they overload the left. They spin. Is it spin into this quarters or this palms, we used to call it? Or is it more 3x1? They're going to spin to single high. Like, where are my answers, right? How am I getting this thing protected down in distance, right? Like, what do we need to do to combat this? So it took so much mental energy, and we had to have such a precise plan for all of it. So yeah, bottom line is, if you don't have a plan, he will make you look stupid, and you will not get a third down pass off, right? It's that good a scheme. So they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, but the interesting part about it is Drew drops about the offense that he was involved in. I think in the Clint Kubiak style offense, the Saints are more focused on running the ball and attacking the front of the Dallas Cowboys. And we know that that you have Parsons, put on the line. You have guys like Kendrick and Overshown. Those guys can move and play. Kendricks is very intelligent. He's played with Zimmer before, so he knows the defense. He's like the brains of the defense, but at the same time, you got to have a plan, but you got to execute. And part of the plan is we got to be physical with the Dallas Cowboys. We have to dominate in the trenches. Ain't no way around that. And that's the thing. Like the best option is in terms of keeping the pressure off of Derek Carr, because it's not about Derek. I mean, Derek Carr, when he gets up there, he's going to be looking at what's going on with the defense. But a lot of the offense, the way it's designed by Clint Kubiak, as he explains it, is that he wants to give the quarterback an opportunity to see what's going on. The option for the Saints is not to throw the ball. Hopefully, Clint Kubiak doesn't involve himself in running a game plan where Derek Carr is throwing the ball 30 times a game, all this kind of old stuff. Hopefully, the Saints are still focused on running the football and laying hands on the defenders of the Dallas Cowboys and testing their physicality. Because we know they can get after you. Our guys can get after you, but we have to be physical. We have to out-physical these guys on the line of scrimmage. That's what it comes down to. If we do that, then we'll have an opportunity to get into play action, and then they'll look similar to a lot of teams that look that are, when you start seeing the play action get going. So we can't get cocky. We have to be smart. We can't turn the ball over, and we got to strike first out there. We really do. We gotta be physical, man. We gotta be physical to beat these people, man.
Well, God bless you, brother. Good luck, and stay in touch if we can do anything here. Just remember, Gruden loves football. I know Brees loves football. Thanks for joining me, Drew. Love you, brother.
Hey, you too, Drew. Thanks, man.
All right, good luck this week, all the boys. Let it rip.
Hey, man, one at a time. We'll get them. We're gonna have some wrinkles. I'll send you what we're doing. All right, man.
Thank you. Love you, pal. See you.
All right, so that's Coach Gruden, man. Listen, man, the great part about having the Saints, scheme is like I was telling family members, listen, there'll be a few wrinkles here. There's going to be more wrinkles. Like Zimmer knows what time it is, but like we said, that offense is incredibly difficult to plan for if the Saints are disciplined enough not to tip their hat to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys will be in reaction mode. They'll be in reaction mode. Not as far as like you can see them putting them linebackers up there, but it's still to our advantage if we are running the football and making sure our offensive linemen put hands and drive those guys out of there. That's the best way to do it when we got young offensive tackle. Now we still have questions about what's going on with Marshawn Lattimore for our defense. We still have questions if Tali Fuaga is a game time decision. So is Laddie. I'm comfortable with that, as weird as it sounds, because I like our secondary's depth. But in terms of our offensive tackle position with Tali Fuaga, we have to wait and see what that is. He kind of went backwards from limited to the DMP. It could be just possibly they were giving him extra days and thinking that he could be ready. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow to see what the call is. If not, then Landon Young will be the guy there. In that case, still in all, whether it's Landon Young or Tali Fuaga, the Saints have to be focused on running the football. That's the key to success. We can't allow Dallas not to let us run the football. And like I said, they're fast. And they move pretty good, but something telling me, I was watching a film on Dallas, that we can run on this team. We can run on Dallas. Like even with Cleveland last week, I think they almost put up 100, but they had almost 100 yards rushing on the team and, with their backs. So I still believe that we could run on this team. Something showed me in the tape that we could be able to run on this team. We could be able to use extended handoffs, stuff like that, to be able to trick this team. Clint Kubiak's going to roll out different wrinkles you never seen before. And I just get the feeling, it's just not me as a black and gold man, but I just get the feeling, family, that you'll see the Dallas Cowboys defense in just like in just in a reactionary mode, just waiting to see what the Saints are doing. That's what I basically see happening. All right, fam, let's move to this next video right here. This is Demario Davis popping up on the NFL Network. It's talking about Demario setting his 100 start with the Saints, and he talked. Yeah, this is true too. JT says, Q, we cannot fall behind too far because we can't play two teams, referees and Dallas. Yeah, and we talked about the referee who the Saints actually have a winning mark against, but when you go to a tough environment to play like Dallas, we as Saints diehards always think about the team we're playing as well as the referees, and being able to control, the miscues, because what you can't control their officiating, right? They're gonna call how they call, do what they do. But what we can control is our execution. What we can control is our miscues, the pre-snap penalties, false start, and all this kind of stuff. This is something that can't get enough attention because that can ultimately end up hurting you, getting false starts and because of the noisy environment. So the Saints have to come in with a plan to be able to prepare for the noise that they'll be hearing on those third and longs or whatever the case may be. We have another thing, getting to the red zone, executing, doing our best to not make any mistakes, forcing turnovers, and not only forcing the turnovers, but the offense taking it and executing. We were 4 for 4 in the red zone last week. So many great stats. I don't know if we go 4 for 4 or perfect in the red zone, period, against the Cowboys. But when we do get down there, we have to get touchdowns in there. We got to be able to do what we got to do. And ultimately controlling the clock. That'll be so imperative. That'll come with running the ball, being able to run up. Because I really do believe that we can run on this Dallas Cowboys team. You can't stand back there and let Derek Carr try to throw into the defense like that. You're going to have to run into them people. You got to have to be able to set up the run to take the pressure off Carr so he can operate the play action. We got to do that. And then on the opposite side, defense got to get after Dak Prescott because it's all on him. They run a running back by committee approach. That's the weak aspect of the team, which is they're putting a lot on Dak Prescott. So even if we muddle out the run and force Dak to make the throws, and you got to watch out for CeeDee Lamb and all these people. But we just got to be smart, man. But case in point, we got to get the Dak Prescott, knock him down, knock him around, run the ball, dominate the clock, don't cut down the miscues and the penalties. We're going to make some errors, obviously, but make them make more than what we make, and we should come out with the victory. I don't see them blowing them out. And even if you did blow the Cowboys out, you're not going to get any credit for blowing the Cowboys out. Why? Because the media going to say that the Cowboys was tripping and flipping and slipping because they were overlooking the Saints and not as a serious opponent because they were looking at the Baltimore Ravens, who they have to play next. So we're not looking for any credit, just the one up on the Cowboys if and when they get to the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, I know we're going to make it. But if they do, we got the one up. Same next week with Philly, same with Atlanta, same with, Tampa Bay when we get to them after Kansas City. And like I said, the storm weakened as it came ashore, but it did put out power around the area. It did drop trees down and it was just a rainmaker. Pretty much my experience with it. It wasn't a very windy storm, but it was just a lot of water, dumped a lot of water, and we still have other storms. We're still in the season, so we're not out of it by a landslide, but we are monitoring, and people just have to deal with it. It's nothing new if you live on the golf course, especially the Gulf Coast. If you're close to New Orleans and in any other coastal city, that's just what you deal with. Charles says, Q, I watched the Cowboys and Browns. I wasn't impressed with the Cowboys. With Dallas they won, but they started off slow. Yeah, and Rome talked about that from Cowboys Sports Talk. And I watched the same footage. I watched all 22. Cowboys their offense was rusty. And, I seen it. They were Dak Prescott's numbers was very, they look like what they look like. We still got to remember this. Not all teams fire off and start the season off as sparkly and special and unique and as perfect as the Saints did. The Saints had a perfect opening game. Usually and traditionally, when you start off the season, it's always a rust factor. Because most of these guys hadn't played together long enough in game simulation or game action for them to have that type of synergy and chemistry. So whatever the Saints did there, that was special and unique, especially how they dominated the Carolina Panthers on every level of football, even the level that they were known to be good at. The Saints dominated them. Now, people are thinking that it was just an aberration. If you go and look at the tape, it didn't look like an aberration to me. It looked like the Saints knew what they were doing. It looked like the tight ends knew where they needed to be. It looked like they knew what they were going to do. And when everybody was doing their jobs correctly, they were playing with an intensity and a focus, because after several years of frustration from the family base and the team of underachieving, the Saints took it upon themselves to have a solid effort. Can they reduplicate that? I'm not saying they're going to put 47 points on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is the Dallas Cowboys are a good team, but I've seen recent versions of the Cowboys that look a lot better to me. And besides, this is the second week coming up. So there is going to be rust factors with teams, despite what you've seen. The Saints show no rust. Will they then show rust in this game? And it's different because you're not at home, you're away. So how up for the challenge is the team? Are they getting their lessons? They got to be feeling good after blowing the team out. You're taking that good energy into a matchup against the Cowboys in week number 2. Remember, this is not a middle season or middle regular season matchup in the 7th or 8th or 9th week, and when we had several months of football and people know what they're going to do. Not at all. It's still very early. And like I said before the season, I was like, listen, teams are not completely there yet. They're making adjustments. They're trying to figure stuff out, and anything could happen in that time frame. So we just walk in and doing what we got to do. But our plan is very simple. Run the ball, get the play action going. The defensive side, get after Dak, one-dimensionalize the offense, get to Dak, knock him down, frustrate him, fluster him. Because if you put pressure on him, he will give the ball up. No doubt about it. You put pressure on him, he will throw interceptions. You put pressure on him, he will turn the ball over. Most quarterbacks is the same way. You put pressure on them, they're going to get the ball up. So, yeah, they're definitely they're not a invincible team. They're not. The Saints looked like that in week number 1, but like I said, how often you see teams do that where they just handle them. Now, listen, Dallas played well as a team, offense, defense, and special teams. Where the offense failed, the special teams kicked 4 field goals. They even added a punt return for a touchdown. So they put a lot of points up on the board to put that lead out of there. So that's the whole point there. We got to be able to do what we got to do. And like he said, even if the offense reared back on it, they were comfortable with kicking field goals to take the lead, because 3 is better than 0, right? Even though we want 7, I wouldn't be I'd rather get 3 than get nothing. So I get the logic on that. Anyway, let's get back to it. I'm gonna get back to you questions, comments and questions, family. If y'all got any, throw them in the chat. I'll get to them. Thank you. Here we go. Yeah, he got gray hair from the guy that has none. Okay, thank you for that. I was like, Demar was like, how did I? Okay, thank you. All right. Oh man, but hey, man, listen. Yeah, the Saints have every bit of a reason to feel good after the Carolina matchup, to be honest with you, man. The Dallas Cowboys matchup is just a very interesting game. And like this, man, we talked about, I made mention about this in the earlier show too, family, about all the stuff that we've seen dealing with the Cowboys going into this matchup. The Cowboys are not comfortable playing at noon. Most of the Cowboys games are either at afternoon games or they like at 6 o'clock games. You know what I mean? And then to my mind, I was like, man, they don't often play at no 12 o'clock, not at home. So what kind of Cowboy team you going to get that's playing at that noontime Central Time kickoff? Will they just be like, a little groggy and whatnot, starting it? That's not that. Listen, don't overlook that at all. Don't overlook that at all. That is a big part. Even Rome from Cowboys Fan Talk mentioned that. And I said, bro, I said the same thing. I was like, listen, man, the Cowboys are not used to playing at home at 12 o'clock. They are usually 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever the time is, this the not the afternoon game, but the night game. That's when they play 3 or 6 or 7, whatever the time is. So that's something we have to watch out for too. All right, Louisiana says, Q, why no one talks about the Saints pass rush specialist, Brian Young? Yeah, Brian Young. Dude really is good, yet they keep him in there over and over since 20. Yeah, Brian Young has done this pass rush specialist, Brian Young has done a phenomenal job. Yes. And he'll start getting his accolades, man. Sooner or later, somebody's going to come and pilfer him and bring him up and turn him into a defensive line coach or, and stuff like that. His time is coming. He definitely, his time is coming. They got people that notice what he's doing for the Saints, and he's done a really good job. And yeah, the Saints pass rush, the Saints defense. I mean, they talk a lot about Dallas, and Dallas is seen as America's team or whatever the case may be. But the reality is the Saints ain't chopped liver. The Saints have this guy, Demario Davis. They have Tyrann Mathieu, Marshawn Lattimore if he's healthy, Cam Jordan, Chase Young, Carl Granderson. Demario, whether it's Pete Werner or Willie Gay, the Saints have Paulson and Debo's not, they have just talent, phenomenal. And if you match up our talent versus their talent, they might have guys on their defense like Parsons is unbelievable. DeMarcus Lawrence is awesome. And then you have other guys there as well. But the Saints can really match up with these people. Like we have a lot more people there. Not doing the contest there, but I'm like, okay, you're talking about the Cowboys, but you do know that the Saints, they got a defense that'll knock you on your ass, that they can get after you. That's one thing I was saying about Chase Young when they brought Chase Young here and they gave Carl Granderson a young compliment. And like I was asking the family members, we polled them, and I said, hey, fam, who do you think is better? A healthy Chase Young versus Carl Granderson? They said Chase Young. I was like, wow, yeah. And that wasn't even a thing. I did the poll and the poll blew out, they was like big time number. No disrespect to Carl Granderson, but Chase Young is your DE too. And you seen what Chase Young was doing, putting the pressure on Carolina last week. He was always around and he didn't get the sack, but it was pressure all over the place. So you got him on one side, Carl Granderson on the other side, Cam coming in there in reserve roles while he's fresh. They're cycling these guys in to keep them fresh so they're never tired. Then you have Brian Bresee rushing inside along with Big Nate Shepard. You're mixing in. You'll see John Ridgway III, who they gave up a 6th-round pick to get. He'll be playing. You'll see Christian Boyd, who's also a good pass rusher inside for a big defensive tackle. Ridgway's massive, 6'5", 320-something pounds. You're not going to run on the Saints. And what that does do, it frees up guys like Demario Davis, who we just seen. It frees up Willie Gay. That's another component. I told people this during the week. I was like, fam, hey, this Willie Gay is not on those injury reports, huh? You noticed that, right? Even Chucky mentioned it. Chucky was like, man, Willie Gay, such and such. I was like, man, listen, that's a whole nother compliment to the Saints defense they didn't have last year. No disrespect to Pete Werner. But Willie Gay is a guy that comes in. He is super fast, lightning fast. And he's playing next to Demario Davis. They're going to be sending him on the blitz to knock Dak Prescott on his ass. He can cover guys out the backfield. So it's a different speed component. So you got guys like Chase Young, Willie Gay. Those guys are fast at the first and second level. So, they get after you. They add another speed to the Saints defense. They're not talking about that. They're talking about their linebackers. They're not talking about yours. That's cool. Keep on talking. Keep on talking. We're going to show you. But yeah, the running attack is a big part of it. The Saints have a very good defense. I said a top 5, top 10 defense, a top 3, top 5 secondary when healthy. The Saints running attack, in my opinion, is going to be a top 5, top 10 unit this year. Why? Because of the man on screen. Alvin Kamara is without a plan on a 1 year of his contract. He's feeling Saints disrespected. So he has every motivation to have the biggest running year, the eclipse to get 1,000 yards. He never did that before. When you're talking total scrimmage yards, that's one thing. But when you're talking a guy that got 1,000 yards rushing, Alvin Kamara never did that. He never did that in the season for him. So it'll be interesting and fun to see exactly how things go, man. In the end, It's going to be interesting, man, to be honest with you. All right. Thank you, Louisiana, man, for this. Appreciate this one.
Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, because this is something that, you know, I've heard all week from the Cowboys people. They're just overlooking the Saints. They're saying this, that, and the third. Now that the media is talking about how good the Saints are because of the uncertainty or the mystery, really not uncertainty, but the mystery around what the Saints offense can look like. And you got a guy that's competent to be able to know how to utilize the weapons that the Saints have. When you have that going on, you don't know what's going to happen. That's why I say whatever little stuff we show them offensively, there'll be different wrinkles. And I'm truly saying this, family. We'll see if my words ring true tomorrow against the Dallas Cowboys. I just see the game, and I see the Cowboys are constantly, the majority of the game, in reaction mode, trying to figure out what the Saints are doing. A half a step to a full step, maybe more behind the defense, and constantly reacting to what the Saints are doing, and not a few times they get there. You know, they make a breakup play or something like that. But the majority of the time, I see more of the Cowboys in slow reacting to what the Saints are doing, because the Saints offense is not going to tip their hand. They talk about Derek Carr. Derek Carr is the least of the worries. I told them that. I'm like, listen, y'all, they talking about we need to stop Derek Carr. You lost the game right there. It ain't about Derek Carr. If your game plan is to go after Derek Carr, good luck with that, because that's not the plan for us. Derek Carr is a secondary complement to the Saints running attack. They're going to put the game in the hands of Alvin Kamara, and Carr is a complement to it. He'll benefit by the fact of a balanced attack. Don't get lost on the 200 yards that Derek Carr with 3 touchdowns, which was very commendable. He did a wonderful job. Don't get me wrong. But the Saints had 200 from Carr through the air and 180 yards rushing between 3 guys. Jamal Williams, Alvin Kamara, and Taysom Hill. And you don't know what Taysom Hill going to do. You don't know where he's going to line up at. You don't know if he's going to be a running back, a tight end. You don't know what he's going to do. The same with Rashid Shaheed, the same with Alvin Kamara. These guys are mismatched nightmares. How are you going to defend all of those guys? And then if Carolina going to teach you anything, when you looked at it, Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara was setting up plays for other guys to cook them people. Think about it. Your tight ends got touchdowns in that game. Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, and those guys set up plays for the tight ends. And the tight ends was out there blocking. The tight ends both had Juwan Johnson and Foster Monroe had well-deserved touchdowns in that game. So, like I said, man, it's a pissed off Alvin Kamara running with passion, running with purpose. Taysom Hill, that's unstoppable. And the way they're using them, they're running these guys in tandem, like you thought, and I thought, and they're still going to do it, where you'll see Taysom as a fullback, but we're not seeing that. Even Gruden pointed that out. Gruden said, hey, man, listen, they got Adam Prentice, the fullback, out there. And Adam Prentice don't look like the same Adam Prentice we seen last year. I call Adam Prentice the worst fullback in the NFL. I like nothing special about this guy. This guy's probably the rank. If it's 32 fullbacks in the league, this guy is probably ranked 32. But he didn't look like that last week. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He was blocking with purpose. The Saints had him out there blocking for Kamara. They had him out there blocking for Taysom Hill. You give Taysom Hill a goddamn fullback, bro, to get to the second level as fast as Taysom Hill is and running with all that. Man, how you going to stop Taysom Hill? Tell me how you going to do that. How you going to do that? You barely, because you can't stop Alvin Kamara, so I know you can't. He's better than Taysom, in my opinion. You're not going to be able to stop Taysom Hill. How are you going to be able to stop Kamara and Taysom Hill? How are you going to do that? How? And then will they line up at running back? We'd be able to just stop him running. What if he doesn't line up at running back? What if he line up at tight end? Who are you going to put on to cover him? And while you looking at him, what about Alvin Kamara over here? And while you looking at Alvin Kamara, what about Rashid Shaheed over there? Well, but hold on before you answer that. What about Chris Olave over there? Well, we got all these people here. We're gonna be all right. Yeah, and then Foster cooks you, and then Juwan Johnson cooks you, and then Jamal Williams cooks you, and then Dallin Hawker, he gonna get some. How you gonna stop him? Bro, I'm telling y'all, man, I've been saying these mismatch nightmares. That's difficult. Zimmer is a hell of a coach. But let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, man. There is no way you can stop all of those guys, and you know they come into play. You gave Elvin Kamara, Mickey Loomis, if he done anything right, he gave Elvin Kamara the ammunition that he needed to be focused and determined to break records and set personal bests. He didn't give him the contract. And that forced Elvin into a state of watch this. In the system where he's seen McCaffrey get 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, 60 plus catches, 8 receiving touchdowns in a similar system. He like, yep, watch this. And then he has Taysom Hill as a compliment, not Jamal Williams. It's Taysom Hill running the ball. Y'all remember in the play against Carolina where the defensive lineman ran into, he was getting partially blocked, and Taysom went off to the right with the handoff. The guy grabs Taysom with his hands, and Taysom bumps into him and then bounces through, then runs through his hand tackle to the next guy, the linebacker at the second level, hit through his tackle, twists and turns himself into what looked like a 10 to 12 or 13 yard run on the play. And he didn't do that just once. How you going to stop that? Because let me tell you, it's off-putting is what I'm saying. I'm not being big chested like the cowboy people is. What I'm saying, I'm asking, how you going to stop that? How you going to stop that? Seriously, because you got to find out what they're going to do, and then you got to be able to stop them. That's a whole other thing. Even if you know what the Saints are going to do, you still got to be able to operate, have the right personnel to stop them. It's going to be difficult to see that if you give Taysom a fullback and he's running the ball like what he is, and he's not slow, he's fast, and he hits those lanes with speed and power. When you talking about running on high horizontal runs, those you talking horizontally attacking the Dallas Cowboy defense. With them getting lanes and shooting right through that Elvin Kamara. They moving Kamara around on the offense to decoy him while they paying attention. And we hitting you with Taysom Hill over here. Bringing in Jamal Williams to hit you. Doing end arounds with Rashid Shaheed. Getting Chris Olave involved. Who the damn third wide receiver is? We're probably going to get him involved in this game. I'm pretty sure they had Mason Tipton out there playing too. And we ain't talking garbage time. Y'all seen Mason Tipton out there? And let me tell y'all something. Mason Tipton is 4.33 speed wide receiver. You don't think he going to get some? Mason Tipton was out there playing, man. And it wasn't just in the garbage time. He was actually having some moments. Well, pretty much most of the game was garbage time, but he was getting reps out there. Mason Tipton is supposed to be the 5th wide receiver. And we know A.T. Perry was having issues, Cedric Wilson. But like I said, there's new wrinkles here. And I'm really asking, how y'all going to stop all that shit? Because I'm like thinking in my head, if I was a Dallas Cowboy person, and shout out to one of the Dallas Cowboy people that listen to the stream, and they say, man, yeah, I like the stream. I like the show. He said, I wish you was a Cowboys person. You know, I thought, I'm going to thank you. And yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But I want to ask them, how are you? Because even if I was a Cowboys person, I was doing a Cowboy stream, I'll be sitting up here saying to myself, man, how the hell are we going to stop Elvin Kamara and Taysom Hill? Those guys are incredibly difficult to stop because they'll attack you from different ways. How are you going to stop that? How are you going to stop them? Not just that they run inside, but they run outside. They're receiving threats. How are you going to stop these guys? And that's who the Saints are going to use to open up the offense for everybody else. How are you going to stop that? I'm just saying, how? The only way they can be stopped is if they stop themselves. They don't come to play, which is that's the bad side. The good news, these guys are always ready to play. How are you going to stop that? And how are you overlooking the Saints with guys like that? That's what I was saying about talent. You looking at Dennis Allen and saying Dennis Allen is garbage. Dennis Allen, he is not a good head coach. We know this. What he's doing is he says, I'm doing what I'm good at. I'm going to run a defense. I let Coach Rizzi run the special teams. Clint Kubiak, you got the offense. If you need anything, come talk to me. If he does it like that, leave him alone. Let him go up in the booth if he wants to. If he want to be on the field calling the plays, leave him alone. Let him do what he feel like he needs to do. But in the end, man, how are you going down? Cowboys people, how are you going to stop people? Taysom Hill was, and like I said, Carolina's not garbage. Derek Brown, Shaq Thompson, what was the other brother I talked about? Jadeveon Clowney. They had really good. The Carolina Panthers defense was the best unit last year. The offense struggled, but the defense was solid last year. The defense is the best part of the team. They have players. Did y'all not watch how the Saints pushed around Derek Brown, who was one of the best young defenders out there? The Saints pushed him around in that game. Watch the film. You don't think the Saints going to attack? They're not. Derek Brown's a big physical defensive end. The Saints were put, and it wasn't just one lineman, Tally, or whoever. They were Tali Fuaga and Trevor Penning are really good run blockers, and they're big guys that can move, and they get better when they get an opportunity to smash you and push you down, like they was doing Derek Brown and pushing Jadeveon Clowney out of the way. If I was a Dallas Cowboys people, I would not be giving Saints billboard material, because you're not really that farther. I said this, man. I said the Saints could, before any of this shit started, I said, if the Saints operate like we think they can, they're a top 3 team in the NFC. People say, no, hell no, Q. And I was saying, fam, listen, I'm talking talent. I'm talking execution. If Clint Kubiak is who we believe he is, then this Saints offense is dangerous. You have all of the people in place already. You just needed a right system and a guy that was accountable with some imagination and some good sense to know how to make them work. So I don't think this is an aberration. I don't think it at all. When I watched all 22, I seen exactly what they were doing, and they were confidently executing. So this is going to be fun. It could be one of these situations where you found the right system to fit the right talent. That's why Kubiak came down here. Kubiak seen it from 49er land. That's why he would take a job with Dennis Allen facing a year where he could be fired. And he had comfortability. I'm pretty sure if something bad happened and it didn't work, he would go back out there. They would hire him again if nobody else didn't pick him up to be a coordinator. But the reality is he took a gamble. He said he came down here because he's seen the Saints have the same talent, the right talent to operate the system that he's trying to do. That type of system. You have the same people or similar or better talent. Saints have it. Man. Thank you, Head Trump. I believe the whole team will play pissed off tomorrow. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Dark Side, what's happening, fam? Says the only way the Saints can be stopped if the line breaks down, gets no push to open up lanes for the running back, fullback. This game will be one in the trenches. I agree with you, Dark Side. And the reality of it is, listen, man, I don't think that happens. And I'm not saying that because I'm a black and gold man. I'm not being jaded. I'm not saying, or, just we're going to beat the piss out of them people. No, I'm not going for that. What I'm saying is really, like, strictly from instinct standpoint, I'm like, man, the Saints are going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball, and Dallas is not the greatest run stuffing team that, we're going to see early on. I believe that they can run the ball on these people. And if they can run the ball against the Dallas Cowboys, that's the game now. That's the game. We just got to run. The best part of the Saints offensive line is that they're really good at doing that. That's why I was telling people about Trevor Penning. I was like, man, if you watch the college footage of Trevor Penning, his best attribute is run blocking. Most offensive linemen, best suits are run blocking. They're more comfortable with putting their hands on guys and driving them out. You're not going to let Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence get here and tee off on you. No, let those linemen put their hands on them boys and push their ass out of there. Show them that we ain't to be messed with. Establish the physicality edge early. That's what I'm talking about. How you going to stop that then? I don't see it, man. All right, man. Any questions, y'all throw them in the chat, man. Jamaica says they can't. And the Cowboy Talk Room said one thing on your show, but another couple hours ago, maybe sure He says, okay, Jamaica. She says they can't, she said the Cowboy Rome said one thing on your show, but another couple of hours ago, make sure you have his ass back on here. Well, that's why I brought him on here. I played Rome's, and Rome ain't no double talker, I don't think. He's a cool dude, man. I like Rome. But the thing is, he was saying one thing on the show. We had in Purple Knight. I forgot whose it was, but it was Brother Purple Knight, who's a regular, member of the Great Saint Think Tank. And he was like, Q, I was talking to old boy in the show. That's why he was getting bucked like that. And I was like, okay, it makes sense now. But yeah, it was different. You remember Jamaica? Y'all remember? Because I did that. I played that. Somebody sent me that. And I played that just so you get both sides. You see when I did that? You see when I did that? Put one in the chat if y'all seen what I did there. Because I said, listen, we're gonna have a discussion about that. I want to hear what you got, because you might have something, a part of the game that I'm missing. See, I'm open-minded. I will listen. I will listen to you, because that's your team. You know more about your team than I do. I'm a black and gold man. Now, I could do my scouting report and I can get close to what you're saying, but from that standpoint, I'm going to relent to you. I'm going to give you the game, let you give me the game about your squad. And, and because he was saying at first that he don't believe the Saints are as good as he originally thought, but he started doing research. He said at the start to show off, to be honest, to be fair. He's like, listen, man, I did some research on your club, because I talked to him prior to the stream. He's like, man, I did some research on the Saints, man. And listen, they're a little bit better than I thought they were. And I was like, bro, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I said, a lot of people getting this twisted by Dennis Allen. That's why they're getting the low rankings and people putting the Saints way down here. And that's Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is, I told y'all, he's the compression. He's the governor on the truck that keeps it from going over a certain amount of miles. That's what Dennis Allen is, energy-wise. He's doing it to the entire Who Dat Nation. But when the people see how good the Saints are behaving offensively speaking, is that because of that? No. He made the right choice in getting an accountable person in the building and getting the hell out of the way. That's what it comes down to. So as long as you keep doing that, we'll have some success. A Haitian Black says, I'm saying who that. I'm not sold after one game against Carolina, but I do see a difference in offense, and that a cause for optimism. But this is a different team we're playing. Hope we get the W. Thank you, Haitian Black. Much love, fam. Appreciate you, sir. All right. Drew says those double teams were looking beautiful. Yes, indeed. Dr. Drew said, what's up, Dr. Drew said this game Sunday feels a whole lot different than other games. It does. It's a rival game. It's a rivalry. That's how it's supposed to feel. So when you see early on, and that's the cool part about getting this type of game early on, and I really appreciate the fact the schedule makers gave us so many critical games early on, because it makes the season pop right away, as opposed to us waiting 3 or 4 games to get to the meat of the schedule before we start seeing contending teams. We see top teams off the mat in the first 5-6 weeks, and that's cool with me. That's awesome. I'm good with that. So at the end of the day, man, we'll know what we got. And besides, a lot of these teams that we're going to be playing, they don't have all this stuff right. That's what I said. It takes 3 to 4 weeks for you to figure out what you're doing. And during that period of time, you're susceptible to be getting beat because you don't have that much tape on your adversary. You're studying the game here or there. You're trying to figure out what they're doing. Then they rip out something totally you wasn't preparing for. So, yeah, you go early on, man, it's another world until you gather enough identity to establish what they are. They don't know what the Saints are. So in that, if that's indeed the case, they can be beaten. It's unlike some of these other teams that have an established offensive identity. They don't know what the Saints are yet. That's why that's an added advantage. You can study all you want, but Clint will roll out some different wrinkles. And I'm telling y'all, the Dallas defense going to be in a constant state of reacting. And what I mean reacting is like they're looking to see what you're going to do and then react after it's already happened. While the Saints already then picked up a quick 3 and then you reacting while he's already running on the side. How are you going to stop these people, man? Now, you can sit up here and put your blitzing linebackers here or there, but we got something for that too. You can stick them suckers in right there in them lanes right there, and we just end around you, dumbass. Go around it. I mean, we can do it's a bunch of stuff, man. Because the reality is that offense forces the defense to tip their hand. They don't get that. That's why, and even the Cowboy family members are saying that's like, man, we struggle against this defense. You know why? Because it forces you to think, and that is you're in a disadvantaged position if you're thinking because you're supposed to be in a state of instinct. You're supposed to be reacting instinctually. That's the flow of the game, understanding what you need to do and just go. If you think and you have doubt, that means the game slows down and we take advantage of you. Is what it is. All right. Yes, indeed. Darkside says, I hope them zebras call a fair game. Favoritism for the ref. Yeah, we talked about that, bro. That's another thing we always watch out for when we go to Dallas or any other venues, the referees. This referee appears to be one of those fair referees. We are 3-0. I think the report said with this guy as a referee, but still got to watch it. Charles says, Q, what's your high, low in run attempts? I'm saying 30 to 35. I mean, that's fair, bro. Low 20. I would like to have 20 because you got 3 runners. You're going to have 3 running backs. So you might see Elvin Kamara get 10 plus. Taysom, you definitely going to see Taysom get 10, 8, 8, 9, depending on what it is. You know what I'm saying? You'll see Kamara with 10 something, probably Taysom with 8, 9, or 10. Jamal gets 5 or 6. So you're looking at maybe 28 to 30 plus carries between multiple backs. Plus you might mix Rashid Shaheed in there. He might get an end around or something like that. You never know. So, I mean, there's different ways that I believe Clint Kubiak's going to mix up stuff because he can play. It's a playground. You got all these guys. It's a playground, and all these guys are incredibly difficult to stop. It's going to be interesting, man. Look, all the ones in the chat. Fam say, yeah, oh, yeah, one. Yeah, Charles Bauer says Dallas struggles more with a Kubiak Shanahan style of offense more than any other offense. Most people don't know this. Yeah, Charles, we talked about this all week, bro. Good point on that, bro. We talked about this the whole week. And even Rome from Cowboy Talk talked about this. Hey, man, I just realized we struggle against this type. I was like, bro, we've been talking about this all week. That y'all don't do well. Why? Simple. Because the offense, in order to play this type of offense, man, you got to know what they're doing. You got to guess correctly. And that's incredibly difficult to do because there's constant motions going on. Your defense, if you're motioning, like the first motion is sending the wide receiver left, defense shifts there. That tips the hat of the offense, what they got going on, and they can do whatever they need to. Because if you got Rashid Shaheed going into motion or Elvin going into motion, and you got, it's all kind of stuff because you've seen it happen with Clint Kubiak. They didn't know what was going on. They seen Rashid go into motion. And then it's a double motion and going the opposite direction. And right at the point in which the wide receiver is passing by, the ball is then snapped, right before the wide receiver gets close to him, as it appears that Rashid is going to be the recipient of a handoff where he follows the motion out to the right. But then again, as he's doing it, he gestures like he's getting something, and then it tricks the defense's eyes where they look at him because he dips a little bit, like he, what I'm saying, because you run in and he dips like a motion, like you're receiving something. So the defense eyes is watching him go across, and then the moment they're paying attention to him, the ball then happens. The same motion after the receiver, the ball is snapping, the receiver just passes by in front of the quarterback, and he does the little dip motion going to the right. And they're looking, the ball then simultaneously is then handed to Kamara, who then cycles to the opposite side for a run. And then that small stuff like that freezes the defense. And that's all you need for a guy like Elvin Kamara or Taysom Hill to get yards on you. How are you supposed to deal with that? Then the next thing you look, okay, they did that. How are you supposed to know when they're doing that, who gets what and when? The mere fact that you have to guess at which guy is getting it puts you at a disadvantage. You're playing slower. You don't know what's going on. And it's not like he's going to run that play all the time. He has different ways that he running plays. And bear in mind that all of the play, the way they're lining up looks like the pass plays look like the running plays. So how are you supposed to figure out whether it's a run or a pass? How are you supposed to? That's the point of it. It's a disciplined system that teaches that tricks the defense. They don't know what it's doing. That forces them to automatically be reactionary and in constant thinking mode because they don't know if it's a pass or run because the formation looks the same. Plus, it forces you to tip your hat defensively. So the quarterback makes adjustments knowing what you're going to do. How are you supposed to beat that unless you're a defense that practices against it all the time? For instance, like the 49ers. They know about what it looks like because they practice against it all the time. So if that's the case, if your offense is using that same scheme and your defense is practice against it, then watch how good the Saints play the 49ers and vice versa. That's going to be really a really interesting matchup. But for teams that don't see it that often, that's a very tricky and disciplined and very difficult offense to stop, especially when you have pieces like Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Rashid Shaheed. They don't have these type of people on every team. They don't. So to be getting cocky about that, I was saying, hey, man, y'all need to kind of pump your brakes because, hey, man, it ain't about Derek Carr. It's about Kamara, Taysom, then Carr. Man, it's going to be fun, fam. It's going to be fun watching it. All right. Thank you, Akban. Says, first super chat, Q Ratio. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you for that, bro. All right. Randy says, I watched how the Niners neutralized the Cowboys pass rush last year in the blowout win last year. They used chips motions to pulling off action Parsons direction. Yeah, they ran at Parsons. I seen that film too, bro. I seen that film too. I seen it too. That's what I was saying, man. Listen, you got to run at that guy. You don't think Clint Kubiak gonna do that? And if Clint didn't know, Garrett Kubiak told that man that. Garrett Kubiak, his father said, hey, son, listen, this is how you beat Zimmer. This is how you supposed to do this with such and such. You got to run at Parsons. You got to wear him out. And like, oh, it's going to be a 9. We ain't letting him tee off on our quarterback. We're not going to do that. We're going to put hands on you the saintly way and make sure we bless you as good as we can to the ground. We're going to make sure you and the ground have a nice relationship. Make sure y'all all good and comfortable with each other over and over again. That's what we're going to do. We're going to lay hands on you and we're going to pray that you have a nice journey down to the turf and that you then be waking up and gotten back up so that in a few seconds you can be reunited with that turf again. We're going to bless you. We're going to make sure you get a nice journey, a nice little trip down to that ground. That's what we're going to do. Giovanni says, what's up, Q? How's Laddie Dad? Is he playing tomorrow? It's a game time decision, bro. We'll know tomorrow morning. There's no information on that. But Dennis Allen did allude that Tali Fuaga and Lattimore, these are game time decisions. The guys that's listed as questionable with those guys are considered game time decisions. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Thanks for the question, fam. All right. Bean says, Dan Quinn didn't know how to handle Shanahan's style offense. I'm confident in Zimmer's scheme to handle the run a lot better. Okay, Bean Dip. We'll see what they do, brother. We'll see. All right. Marvin says, Q, I know you have a show to do, but before it's over, can we get the cleanup? The cleanup man, brother. That's the cleanup man is only when Dennis Allen start talking the shit. Then we got to clean this up. We got to clean. He ain't talk too much cleanup talk, brother. He ain't talking too much, but just because you requested it, brother Marvin, here you go.
Might call me Santa friend, but I'm the cleanup man.
The cleanup man. He'll sweep your girlfriend off her feet. The reason I know so much about him is because he's moved up an old girl of mine.
Swept her right off her feet and into the jag.
That's if Zion Williamson had a music career. That's how it would have ended up right there. He'd have been singing in somebody's living room doing weird gyrations. All right, Randy says, Q, last memory facing the Zimmer lead defense, Kamara had a career game. We dropped 55 points on them boys. I'm telling you, man, he gonna sit up for real and contemplate how you stop Kamara. That's one thing. Fam, listen to me. Listen to me. If I had to deal with them, I'm like, man, I don't know how we're going to do this. It's a lot to ask the defense to do. I'm going to just be honest. How the hell am I going to ask the defense to stop Elvin Kamara and Taysom Hill and Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave? How am I going to ask them to do that? Fam, how? How do you stop Elvin Kamara? How do you stop Taysom Hill? Those are two separate style players that are incredibly difficult to stop because you can't pinpoint on where they're going to be. It's one thing if they were a standard position. You get what I'm saying? If he was just a wide receiver, then we know what we can do. But the guy style is to be used anywhere on the offense. In any way, how do you game plan for somebody that's a running back one moment, a wide receiver the next, or a tight end or a quarterback? How do you stop that? How do you even game plan for that? The answer is you can't game plan for that. All you do is hold your ass and pray. That's what you do. That's what Zimmer doing right now. Zimmer somewhere right now, he got the Bible in both wrapped up in his arms, like he holding a baby real close, and he's saying, "Oh Lord, please, please, Lord, help me on this." And the Lord saying, "Listen, man, you ain't gonna get me to go against my saints." That's what he gonna tell him. That's what he gonna tell him. He gonna look up and say, "Huh? Yeah, you heard what I said. You heard what I said. You ain't gonna get me to go against my saints." That's right. That's right. That's right. Thank you, Marvin. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Yes. All right. Giovanni says, Q, how did you find that song? Bro, that's old school, bro. That's old school, man. I've been knowing about that for a long time, brother. I got a lot of it's different ones, bro, that I remember. And I was like, man, let me go ahead and grab this because it's inspired by the moment, because Dennis Allen was using the cleanup terminology so much so that I was like, man, I remember such and such, and that's how I just remembered to clip it and put it there. So, you know, when they start saying stuff a lot, then I'll remember and I'll find something I can attach to it. I'm pretty good at doing that. All right, Charles says we had the number one offense and defense last week according to the polls. Yes. The only thing is, man, like when we did. Thank you, Marvin. Let me give you this for it, bro. Thank you for that, man.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. That's the point, man. Like I'm not trying to be facetious or, you know, mean to the Cowboy people, because I want a respectable game, but at the same time, I do think that it is incredibly too much to ask the defense to do. And like I said, the Cowboys have good pieces on their defense. They're not a complete defense. They got some good guys. Some of their better players are actually hurt. Like Sam Williams is a really good player. He's hurt. The cornerback is hurt. What's his name? The guy that had 6 interceptions. What's his name? Bland. They got a couple of people that's missing that actually raises that defense to another level that are hurt. So Zimmer, 68 years old, this kind of stuff. But man, listen, you're not game planning a regular offense when you got one dude to worry about back there. The Saints use Kamara and Taysom like starters, and they play the same position. And then Rashid, it's you got to be on something else to be able to understand what the Saints are doing, man. And even you might be able to slow one dude down, but I don't think they're going to be able to do nothing with the Saints. I'm just going to be honest with you in terms of them running the ball and how the Saints are going to use that. I don't think too many teams are equipped to deal with stopping that many people. The Saints will literally have to give them help to stop them. They would have to drop passes. They would have to fumble. They would have to be off-timed. They would have to go out there and not have a very good performance. They would literally have to help them. But if the Saints are functioning on code and do what they're supposed to do, there is no way that I can see the Dallas Cowboys stopping the Saints from doing that, because you can't stop those guys. You might slow one down, but what about the other guy? You're not going to be able to stop all those guys. Then if you find an opportunity to slow those guys down, man, them secondary guys going to kill your ass, man. So like I said, man, we're going to see. Yeah, Bland. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, man, we gonna see, man, because the game's tomorrow, man. I'm gonna be pre-game, during game, post-game, all the interviews, and then Pop's Q will pop up there. We'll talk about it tomorrow, man. But it's game day tomorrow, man. I'm looking forward to that. Lewis says Demario will lead the Cowboys in the pregame prayer for a good night's sleep. All right. All right. Jamaica says the show me song Q got to show us tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that you making a request? Is that what's going on, Jamaica, baby? Black Major said, yeah, to show me. Jonathan says, yeah, show me and show out. Yes, indeed. All right. So yeah, I'm taking requests. I'm DJ Q tonight. I'm DJ Q right now tonight. The family member want to hear the hits. All right, here you go, fam. Show me. That's a stable, man. That's another one of them, man. That's another one of those cuts, man. That's why I was like, listen, that's the perfect song. And wait till y'all see the shirts, man. We got the new merch, the Show Me merch will be ready next week, fam. I wanted to be ready for this game, but I had the guy to make some changes. But they got the Show Me merch that'll be available. I did, Marvin. I did. It's the Show Me merch. Y'all gonna love it, man. For the ladies, for the guys, man. Y'all get y'all merch, man. The Show Me merch. Y'all rock that loud and proud during game day. When you go to the dome, if you go to the dome, Saints functions, put that Show Me on. Put that show. It's coming. Y'all gonna be. Y'all gonna see. It's coming. It's coming. That and the rise up to fall down shirts will have that ready before the Falcons game. Oh man, y'all gonna love them, man. I have too much fun doing this shit, man. You got the show, the Show Me, y'all gonna love those. But the rise up to fall down shirts, we're gonna have that ready for before the Atlanta matchup coming up in a couple of weeks. So that's gonna be fun too. Oh man. I don't know if I'm a bet low, man, because I gotta see what the Saints got going on, man. But listen, could y'all imagine, man? I bet low. The Saints will beat them in week number 4, and then Low had to put the rise up to fall down shirt on. Oh my goodness, man. Oh man. Yeah, the rise up to fall down. All that's coming, man. We're gonna have all that together, fam. Don't even worry. Yeah. Y'all gonna see, man. We doing it, man. All right, Marvin said, where the leak at? We got merch right now, bro. You go to the I think it's in the at the front of the page, the home page. You'll see, or even if I think they tagging them on the bottom of some of the videos where you'll see it's a merch shelf with all of the hats and shirts, but it's No Excuses, the NO Excuses shirts, which is pretty cool because it got NO, No Excuses, NO, No Excuses, and they got Florida Leaves inside of the design. I think it was a pretty nice design, but that was last year's stuff. But like I said, this year we got the Show Me, the Rise Up, the Fall Down, and it's another one now that we are in the model. I know we're getting ready for our Pelican style of stuff. We about to roll that out as well too. So it's a few things going on a couple of weeks before the start of that season. But yeah, we got it going on, fam. Y'all gonna see. Yeah, Jamaica says, yeah, I got to have that shirt. Thank you. Indeed, man. But listen, fam, I'm gonna cut out on that, man. Listen, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys, man, for chiming in tonight. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Listen, fam, if you missed the preview, the Cowboys, Saints versus Cowboys preview with special guest Rome from Cowboy Sports Talk, please feel free to check that one out. That was one we did earlier today as well. So, I figured I was going to circle back here because, and do this stream tonight and a few other things. I got a boxing stream I got to do. I know I was watching some of the fights Caleb Plant fought tonight. There was a few fights that happened. I know Canelo was fighting. I had it in the back and watching it on the side, and the picture froze up on it, man. I don't know what's going on with that. But but Canelo Alvarez They're supposed to be fighting. I think did he win? Yeah, Canelo beat the guy. Yeah, a unanimous decision. So I was watching some of it, man. But yeah, Canelo, he won tonight as well. So Canelo just keeps winning, man. And Belanga, he went the distance, but I know Canelo knocked him on his ass with a mean left hook. But yeah, Canelo won tonight. So yeah, I'll do a Ring Kings tomorrow before the broadcast, a recap of fight night. But listen, fam, I'm gonna get out on that, man. It's been a busy Saturday for me, but it's all good. I love it. Listen, fam, I'm gonna holler at y'all on the stream tomorrow, man. We're gonna get these old Cowboys and knock them on the ground. We're gonna kindly lay hands on them. We're gonna put hands on we're gonna pray first. Like I was telling Lady T, I was like, listen, baby, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pray first, and then we're gonna go out there and kick some ass. All right. That's how you do it. That's how you know that. You say, Q, how you know you got active faith? You won't know how you got active faith? You pray first and then go out there and lay hands on them. That's how you do it, baby. That's spiritual and other physical. So we're gonna pray first, and then we're gonna kindly lay hands on the Dallas Cowboys and repeatedly escort them down to God's good earth. And then as they get up again, we're gonna escort them again and keep escorting them again to the ground until the clock strikes 0 on 4 quarters and the Saints rise victorious, man. That's what we're going to do. And tell the Cowboys, we'll see you if you make it to the playoffs, but this is our year. That's what we're going to do. All right. So anyway, I'm going to get on out of here, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep y'all heads up. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to holler at y'all on tomorrow. It's game day, baby. Game day. Who that? And
yeah, boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That Too.